Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Welcome to Morning Thoughts again, everybody. It's your host with the most. This morning, first of all, let me say good morning to everybody that's heading out to work, everybody that's coming off from work, all the working people, big up on yourself. Make sure you go out today and get your daily bread, right? When the sun may look different, the time is drawing near where the hair will be gone from the face and the head. And I'll look back, I'll be looking like, you'll be able to tell the difference. Anyway, what I want to talk about this morning is, so subscriber sent me a letter here, so I'm actually doing this video on my phone while reading this email off my computer. I'm not going to call out the subscriber name. I've done that before, and subscribers link me and say, SoFlo, don't call my name, you know. So, so I'm not going to call out their name for whatever reasons, okay? The email says, big up yourself, SoFlo TV. As a Jamaican immigrant, I've noticed over the years that several married Jamaican couples married for many years migrate to the USA and then separate or divorce after living in the USA for barely a few years. I acknowledge that this could be caused by many relationship factors. However, it seems odd in that they could have chosen to separate or divorce while they were in Jamaica instead of waiting to get here. Interesting. In a conversation with, so this man said in a conversation with two of his three wives. So him have three wives. I know say enough Jamaicans are gonna beat him for that, but I have another theory on that as well. In Jamaica we have the gallus culture. It's widely accepted that one man have 10 women, and even the woman them accept it, but as soon as a man say him have two wives, it's big drama. So I think they'd rather be side chicks and share man than actually know that they have a husband that's committed to them and some sister wife thing. I don't know. We'll talk about that later too. Let me keep reading this email first. He said, in a conversation with my two of three wives, yes, I have three wives. Wife number 3 expressed she believes that any of the following could have occurred that caused Jamaican couples to separate, divorce, or leave each other when they migrate to the USA. 1, it could be the independent woman syndrome, because when some women start to earn more than their partners, some women start to feel and think that they do not need a man, since they are of the view that the whole purpose of a man is to only provide financial support, to be there in their lives, and to quote unquote love them. He's talking about love as in cuddle me when me want cuddle, sex me when me want sex, that kind of stuff. 2, they have reached the breaking point with their partner where enough is enough in regards to whatever their marital problems might have been before they actually left Jamaica. So for instance, she was in Jamaica with him. He was somewhat of a good person, but she knows him wild and she can't take him wild ways. She come to America, she find out that, okay, it look like I have more choices here, right? The prospects are better here. 90% of the man them she was around in Jamaica was broke and going nowhere. He was going somewhere, but in ways nasty. So now she's around more men that look like they're going places. She decided to step out and take a chance. That's number 2. Number 3, it could be bad advice from African American women. Cultural differences, he put in parentheses, in regards to solving their marital status. Now, remember I spoke about how when we come here and we adapt other people's culture, like in Jamaica, you pull up on your family member and they don't say, oh, you should have called before you come, and them kind of thing that if they do, it'll be some, man, you couldn't call me before me come, let me straighten up the place, but you're still welcomed in, right? As opposed to they don't answer the door when they see you out there and they know you're there, or them stop you at the doorway. You could have called before you come in, and next time call man and give you a harsh attitude. Or how we wake up and we could be living right next door to another Jamaican in the US and we won't speak to them. they won't speak to us either. So we come and we adopt their culture, their way, and that's how they live here. You know what I'm saying? People only speak to each other here if they're involved. Meaning they either got to be platonic friends, romantic friends, or them share sugar and butter or something. Somebody will give somebody something. That if it's not, that's not the case, they can't go into a simple, hey, good morning, how you doing today? Same thing like in Jamaica. Morning, Miss Jones. Morning, Soflo. Everything alright? Yeah, man, everything good. How about you? You alright? Yeah, man, me good. Me I go down the road there, you know? Alright, take care here, walk good. We don't do that here in the US. So we take on their culture. And after living in it for so long, you become assimilated to the point where even if you go amongst your Jamaican people, you are gone amongst people who has also taken on that culture. So we amongst us think it's normal until we go back to Jamaica. And then when we land in Jamaica now, because when I went back to Jamaica, that's exactly how it still is. And to the point where I forgot people faces, because you know people grow up and move away and then them come back. But last time I went, it was around Christmas time. So that's a chosen time in Jamaica for a lot of Jamaicans to return. And a lot of people were returning, visiting while I was there. And I was forgetting names and faces. But them still pull up and they still remember my name and my face. And me still hail them up. And they hail me up like it was regular, right? All right. He says, so it could be bad advice from other divorcees in the Jamaican diaspora. You know, a lot of women have them single girl issues. And a lot of females who are in their relationship, them have them friend. And them friend is a walk-on tech man friend. Or them friend is a friend that's been through many men and don't have a problem going on to another one. She don't see it as her numbers racking up. She don't see it as trying to build stability. She don't see it as sacrificing. You know, everybody want good relationship and good man. And everybody is Google-eyed and when they see a couple that's been around for how many years and the couple has accumulated so many things, not only material things, but happiness, and everything looks like it's in place for them then. Everybody want that, right? But what they don't want is the trials and tribulations that goes along with getting there. You know what I'm saying? So, bad advice from divorcees, don't necessarily have to be married on paper, because I don't even believe in marriage on paper too much. I mean, we do it for the legal reasons, you know what I mean? But marriage is a state of mind, I've always said. And enough people get divorced and married and divorced and married and divorced and married without the papers. That's switching partner to partner to partner to partner. This ain't working out, I'm off. Find somebody else. Same thing happened a year later, 2 years later, a month later, 6 months later, whatever. I'm off. Next relationship again. One of those friends buck up that girl and our friend I make her know, say, girl, you know, if you go through all that, you know, you have to take all that. Left me here, man, you better single. I'm single and free. Everybody single always act like they're enjoying the single life while searching. So if them so single and happy, why are you searching? But they're easily influenced then. That's what I'm saying. And sometimes, you know, them have a saying, they say married man shouldn't have single friends because them have two totally different responsibilities. As a married man, you go to the single brethren them, your single brethren out looking for girls. It might look for pum pum, put it raw, right? And you're married, but he's going to encourage you. Yo, you talk to the friend, man. Me will deal with that one, the one that me want. That kind of stuff. So now you find yourself in a quagmire. Whereas if you have a married brethren, you know that both of you have the same responsibility. You have kids at home. You have a wife at home. We're going to go out. It's boys' night. We're going to have a couple of drinks. Yeah, your eyes are going to wander for some eye candy, but you'll go home to your wife, right? So it's different. Same thing vice versa with females. Married girl or a woman in a relationship with our single girlfriend or girlfriend, they don't have no man. Two totally different priorities, and one is going to influence the other. Either the one with the man is going to influence the other one to go find a good man, or the one without the man is going to influence the one that has a man to left the man there or come play the role with her. You know what I mean? So that's what he's talking about there at number 4. Number 5, adopting the American relationship culture of easily walking away from a relationship rather than exerting the appropriate efforts to make it work. All right. That's another one. And I think I just tapped on that, but let me run by that quickly. I'll just use the example of my grandparents. My grandparents on both sides, my father's parents still together, except for my grandmother passed away recently, and my mother's parents still together. So grandparents on both sides still together. And my father's parents, they left Jamaica after they were grown adults. You know what I mean? They raised their children and everything already. And my other side now, my mother's parents, they really never left Jamaica until not too long ago. My grandmother used to travel all the time. My grandfather traveled for the first time, was it last year or the year before last? Last year, he was up here for the summer, right? And he never wanted to come here. He never wanted to leave Jamaica, period. They always gave him the opportunity, and he never did. You know, some people that jump on the opportunity, he never wanted to. So for the first time, up in age now, he decided, all right, I'm gonna go see what it's about. And he came through. They're all together still. And it makes me wonder, but I know that they've been through hell and back, because we hear the stories from my parents that they've been through hell and back, and it's a wonder that they're still around and still together. But to look at my grandfather and see like all the grandkids around them and great grandkids around them, it's like, and he looked at my grandmother and he said, this union was fruitful, you know, and that stuck in my mind. So I don't know. I really think that when we do come here, we do adopt a different culture, a different lifestyle. We come here as woman, when into man, you feel like, yo, man, dash way out the road, boy. We can't fling you away and go get one next one like you anytime or better. And same thing, vice versa. Monday, I think, girl, dash way out the road. I don't have to work nothing out with you. I could get you or better than you like soon as I walk out the door. In that kind of a setting. So, and that's the culture here anyways. Either that or you're sleeping with multiple people pretending you're only with one person. So it's a whole different lifestyle. Number 6. And he left me 10 of them. And I'm at number 6. Actually, he left me 8 of them and I'm at 6. So hold tight. So number 6 says, the stresses associated with working in a developed country. Limited partner time, like always working. Okay, so that's another thing now, right? So when we're in Jamaica, you know, majority of the people, you're either self-employed or you're employed in a way where you still have home time, you still have honey time, right? In the US, life can get that stressful where you're running like a track star for the dollar and you're trying to scrape up the dollar from every different angle to make ends meet, to make something substantial, to make sure there's something left in a savings for an emergency deal, all these other things. And it takes away from you having the time to just be with each other, right? That's what I think that's about. Little partner time, always working, always grinding, always on the go. And eventually you stray. Enough people stray at work because that's where they spend most of their time. Yo, check it out. That's deep. You at work, right? And you're working 12, 14-hour shifts every day. It's only 24 hours in one day. You're going to go home and try to sleep about 6, 7, 8 hours before. So add 14 hours shifts to 8 hours of sleep. You have no time. No time for your partner. You're doing about 21 hours of either sleeping and working. Where's your partner fit in a 24-hour day? People who really want their stuff to work, though, they'll find that 1 hour every day to sit just them together. But then she's off on the night shift while you work in the day shift and all that. Like, it gets rough. It gets rough. And this is reality. I'm hitting it from all angles. Number 7 is infidelity. Just plain out cheating all the damn time. And number 8, a switch in gender roles. More women are earning more income than their male partners and less men are finding high-paying jobs. More men are staying at home, are becoming stay-at-home dads. I don't want this run out. I want y'all to leave your comment in the comment section below. Add your piece to this. Why is it that we separate when we come to the USA, or our relationships don't last as long as when we're still in the Caribbean? right? Not just Jamaica. It's SoFlo TV, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. And Kai is out. I thought he was going to act up. Miss Lady, that's a walk past my camera so you can't say morning to the people. Them. Let's see her, you know? I don't make nothing fall out neither. So.
Hi, guys.
And he's out. Alright, so we're going to leave it right here. And I'll talk to y'all later, man. I'm out. Peace.